My name is Rhapsody and welcome back to Slay the Spire. Woo! Alright, A3. So A3, elites are deadlier. Not only spawning more often than normal enemies are deadlier, but elites are deadlier. Take 24 damage for 250 gold. On this character, I'm a little more gung-ho about the idea of possibly doing that. Partially due to the fact that we have Burning Blood, so we heal 6 HP at the end of each fight. So as long as we can perfect a couple of our early fights, we can heal up. And it means we get to go to this early shop and pick up something probably quite worthwhile. I'm doing it. So next turn, bash plus defend. I just totally accidentally spaced on the defender. That's what I get for trying to use hotkeys and trying to act too quickly. Alright. Take a single copy of Shrug It Off, happily. Great defensive option right there. 14 incoming damage. I don't need to deal with that. Just defend. Whew, we're doing it again. And so I'll defend for 13 of it. And set up the kill on the front line of Laos. Alright, beautiful. Bash strike or triple strike. Yeah, bash strike will do it. Nice. Iron Wave, Thunderclap, Ghostly Armor. So if I want to take a value pick here, it's probably Iron Wave. I don't want to take the Ghostly Armor because I already have a defensive card in the deck, and if I take too many defensive cards in the deck, we'll end up in a position where we get to an elite and we can't deal enough damage early enough. It's worth noting that the Lagavulin fight is just a race. You have to beat them down really quickly before they take away all of your strength in decks. But the Gremlin Knob fight, having a bunch of skills in our deck is really, really bad, and having an Iron Wave that can generate defense while we're aggressing is really, really good. Cool. Well, we have a bunch of options about how we want to take this deck right now. So I see a double tap and I see a perfected strike, so I'm immediately thinking, well, we could go for a perfected strike build. Might as well capitalize on that in the low ascensions where it's more viable. I also see double tap and rampage, which immediately makes me think, cool, we could cut a card from our deck, we could go for a rampage only build, which is really, really good fun to do. I'm also seeing this Clockwork Souvenir at the start of each combat, gain 1 artifact, so I'm thinking, oh, we could take that, we could get like a flex in the deck or something like that, get a bunch of free strength. Sundial, every 3 times you shuffle your deck, gain 2 energy. That would work really well if I was doing a Rampage build, because I intend to cycle a bunch. So Rampage is its own win condition, because it, well, it ramps ridiculously. It's in its name. Does 8 damage, increase the card's damage by 5 for this combat, upgrades to 8, so 8, 16, 24, etc, etc, etc. It can get really nutty really quickly if you have things like Headbutt to put it back to the top of your deck, or just a bunch of draw and a relatively thin deck. I think I'm gonna go double tap Perfected Strike here. Then probably Inflame, and I actually don't want to cut cards from this deck. Not now. Maybe a Defend, if anything. Yeah, I'll cut a Defend. We're going to go really aggressive here. For that same reason, I'm also going to take this Trip. So in general, the idea here is that fights will just be really, 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 really short. So Perfected Strike. Perfected Strike deals 2 additional damage for all cards in your deck containing Strike. So itself, as well as these 5. So it's got 12 more damage on top of that 6. So it's 18 currently. You can see it's 20 because I have the 2 strength. So it was 18, it's now 20. So now pretty much any card that has the word Strike written on it, we will take. And we should probably also look for some other things along the lines of... I'll just heal here because that's going to be super handy. We should probably be looking for some other things along the lines of Rage, which will provide us a bunch of defense while we're doing this. Next hand has Double Tap and Iron Wave, which is a great, great, great... No, it doesn't. Oh, I was certain it did. Oh, well. Hey, there we go. It did have Double Tap and Iron Wave eventually. It's just I couldn't cast both of them. Okay. We're pretty much certain to take this enemy down in time here. That is down in time to prevent their next attack. Okay, Darkstone Periapt. Whenever you obtain a curse, increase your max HP by 6, as well as the Emerald Key and another Shrug It Off. We do need defense in this deck, and I intend to cut a lot of the defense. The difference there between defense and defends. Sure, I'll just full defend here. Easy kill. Double tap bash the frontliner is not lethal, unfortunately, because it does 10 and then 15 on the upgrade. So it's definitely going to be a shrug it off. Defend, strike the back line, because the front line is more likely to not attack next turn, and they didn't. Beautiful. Which means it puts me in a position to kill the backliner to prevent their damage from incoming. Alright, not bad. Great pickup of Relic here. We've got the Odd Mushroom. When vulnerable, take 25% more damage rather than 50%. There's a Twin Strike, another strike for the deck, thank you. It's also a strike that works really, really well with our... with the fact that we have some extra strength in the deck, courtesy of Inflame, because it strikes twice, so it applies that extra damage from the Inflame twice. I'll take a Metallicize here, just as a defensive option. Letter Opener, every time we play 3 skills in a single turn, deal 5 damage to all enemies. That's not going to trigger often for us. We'll take the Sapphire Key. Alright. See, when you go all aggressive, you can do some wild things. That's the turn 2 takeout there. Oh, Orichalcum. If you end your turn without block, gain 6 block. And a Pommel Strike as well. So Orichalcum is ridiculous for us here because the Metallicize and the Orichalcum don't interfere with one another. That is to say that if we end a turn without block, we will just gain 10 block at the end of that turn. For an aggressive deck, that's ridiculous. Oh my god. Thread and Needle. Start each combat with 4 plated armor. 14 block at the end of a turn with no other interaction. Hell yes. We'll upgrade double tap here. I'll go for another elite because, of course, why wouldn't I? So I want the enemy to be asleep until I play my Inflame and Metallicize. Almost certainly. Oh, they were already vulnerable, so that woke them up. That's my bad. But we're defending for 13 at the end of a turn with no problem whatsoever. Oh, that's wild. There's 15. Good gosh, y'all. What's this build good for? Absolutely everything. Sing it again. Whew. Alright, the Courier. Merchant restocks cards, relics, and potions. All prices are decreased by 20%. Third copy of Shrug It Off, probably my last. Barricade would actually be kind of useful in this deck. Alright. We'll double tap the Pommel Strike here. Damn it. Obviously what I was looking for there was to draw Twin Strike afterwards. And just full defended regardless. Easy. Essence of Steel, as well as... That's another Shrug It Off. Good lord, they are coming fast and furious into our deck. Yeah? Now I can just cut all of the defense from the deck. The Fast and Furious is just enough. We'll upgrade Perfected Strike. It's now 3 additional damage for every card containing Strike, which upgraded it there by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 damage. I don't want to Shrug It Off again here. Hey, here we go. 48 damage. Not half bad for a card. Not half bad. So do I want to perfect this fight or not? Because if I want to perfect this fight, I just do nothing right now. Yeah, I'll perfect it. Seems like a good time. Now, I do need to draw a gain here, unfortunately. Yeah, drawing a gain there, unfortunately, did full protect me. But also lost the one card that I was cycling for. Definitely want to keep that vulnerability up. So, damage engine. Okay, so at the end of this turn, I'll have 2, 6... Okay, cool. I can attack again, and I'll still be full defended. Oh, great. Yeah, we're not full defending this turn. What? 6, 13, so I can get up to 13. The enemy's doing 16 damage here. They go down to 12. Actually, if I use the weak potion, I can still full defend. This is an aggressive deck, perfecting the first boss. This is wild. In fact, that's 12 damage again. We can still just double attack here. Come on. Damn it. I could leave the enemy up for another turn and try and take them down next turn instead. No. No need to get tricky with it. Great. Yep, defense plus perfected strike this turn. Hell yeah, that's a perfect right there. Exhume Demon Form Feed. Unfortunately, it's really difficult for this deck to play Demon Form. We can play it without taking too much damage because the Orichalcum and the Thread and Needle, but we don't want fights ever to go that long. With this many copies of Shrug It Off, maybe we can afford it though. It depends. Do I want my damage to be from strength, or do I want my damage to be from the perfected strikes? I want it to be from the perfected strikes. Now, obviously, we only have one perfected strike in the entire deck right now, but remember, it is a common card, and every other strike... every other strike? Yeah, I'm pretty sure every other strike is common as well. Is that... Is Wild Strike uncommon? Was it changed? I think it was changed between uncommon and common at one point. Other than that, it's just feed. Helps us be aggressive. Yeah, we'll take feed. Ooh, removing our card choices is a really bad idea here. Busted Crown. 2 fewer cards to choose from is... Or rather, 2 less cards to choose from as it's written on the card. Relic. Is bad because obviously we need to pick up more perfected strikes and more strikes to make this build really pop off. The Pandora's Box transforms all my strike cards, which immediately invalidates the whole build, and then Calling Bell gives me 3 curses and 3 relics. At least those 3 curses give me 18 max HP, which is pretty good. But, ugh, that's a shame. It's the only pickable one here, and it's still, I'm not pleased with it. Pain is bad, Injury's okay, Decay's okay. And we get Art of War, which will never trigger for us. If you play no attacks during your turn, gain additional energy next turn. We've got Matryoshka. The next 2 non-boss chests you open contain 2 relics, as well as the Birdface turn. We have 1 in the deck entirely. That is to say, 1 power in the deck. Whenever you play a power card, heal for 2 HP. That wasn't good for us. That was really bad. So we need to visit shops like all the time here, just so that we can remove those pickups that we just had. I'm accepting 4 damage here, but I got to take 3 plated armor off of the enemy. So I'd love to just I'll double tap the Perfected Strike, whatever. Then I take another 5 this turn, and we're not even set up for lethal. Oh, that's so bad. had Pain in hand, so I didn't want to play a bunch of cards there. Well, at the very least, we get to finish the fight with a feed. It's all well and nice. Get some HP back. Yep, another copy of Twin Strike. More than happy to take it. Receive 5 Apparition. No, no. The deck is already defensive enough. We don't need the Apparition. And losing our max HP is just a bad idea for us. There's more max HP for me. I would love to take Anchor so that I don't have to defend on turn 1 and can just aggress, but nope. Gotta remove Pain. I think I'll also take Metallicize. We have a lot of defense in this deck. Also, Flex is really good for this deck because we didn't get any extra energy after the first boss fight. Almost all of our cards cost energy, save Trip. And it means I get to play out more of my hand, get more of an effect, right? Because otherwise I'm just left with a bunch of cards in hand that I can't even play. But also, most of the cards in my deck are attacks, and most of them will be attacks over the course of this entire campaign, I guess? I definitely want to play the Inflame there. Mostly because I have the Perfected Strike. Sorry, mostly because I have the Birdface Nerd. That's my bad. Said the wrong words. I do that all the time. Dang it. Come on, feed. Draw me feed. I'm gonna wait. I'm getting feed. Miscalculated. For some reason I was like, oh, 7 and 7 makes 12. My name's Ryan. That's my impression of me. What do you think? Both of those Metallicizers want to be upgraded. Getting the Necronomicon would be insane here, but I can't just take 3 question marks without knowing that I'll definitely get the Necronomicon. So Feed says if he kills a non-minion enemy, and that's so that you can't just sit in a fight for a very long period of time and just farm off of respawnable enemies. The Fat Gremlin and the Shield Gremlin are minion enemies. So if I use a Feed to kill one of them, it's just because I want that target dead. And that happens to be the case here. I didn't want to be weakened for the next turn. Now, in the first turn here, the Gremlin leader can attack or not attack. But if you don't kill either of the summoned gremlins, the Gremlin leader definitely attacks following that. Which obviously we're not super keen on. However, they still decided to attack this time, but that's okay. It wasn't guaranteed, which is enough for me. Next turn's gonna hurt. Buffs, and now attacks. So the incoming damage is 23, is 23 plus 42, 23 plus 40. Yeah, we're dead. We're extremely dead. I mean, you know, the alive kind of dead, but dead nonetheless. It feels like unless I just go for the Gremlin leader at this point, I'm dead. Don't attack. Gremlin leader's not attacking. Beautiful. I need to make sure that I don't draw the Perfected Strike, because that's my win con right now. I just need to draw that at the right time, like right now. Right now. Okay, so the incoming damage here from the enemies is 23, 28 total. I defend at the end of my turn for 16, so I still need to attack you, at least. No, that's not even enough. I have to kill this fat gremlin. I'm still dead to my decay, aren't I? No, right. I'm not on 1 HP. I'm on 3. Good. And double tap. Perfected strike for the back line. Woo! We're alive. We're going to be dodging all elites for the rest of this floor, though. Havoc, Battle Trance, Warcry. We have very little draw in this deck. Literally just the Shrug-it-offs and the Pommel Strike. So we could just take a Battle Trance. We could also just take a Havoc, burn some cards out of our deck. Problem is, if that burns my Perfected Strike, I lose. Let's take a Battle Trance then. We desperately need extra energy, and it's just not coming to us. Obviously, I was really hoping for extra energy from the boss relic, but could not pick up in good conscience the boss relic that was offered. So I'll use the Ancient Potion here to prevent the Chosen from... Oh no, I used Flex that turn. Damn it! I prevented a different debuff rather than the one that I was trying to prevent there, which is no good. So 12, you go down to 17, and then 18, so I can kill you. Yep, we're afflicted with vulnerability. Never mind, we've got lethal. Woo! Yikes. Take an attack potion. Another perfected strike here, finally. Things are turning around. Molten Egg. Whenever you add an attack card to your deck, upgrade it, as well as a Gremlin Horn. Whenever an enemy dies, gain an energy and draw a card. Both of those are huge for us. Taking a copy of Thunderclap, just for a little bit of AoE. It's pre-upgraded, but also... it applies vulnerability, so I can just use it as a setup for another attack immediately thereafter. I think I'll take that. Unfortunately, didn't have enough money to remove a card from my deck. Oh, now we're dead? I need draw card. Draw card? You didn't draw me cards. Okay, so if I play both of these, I defend for 10, 14, 12 after this. Okay, so we are still alive. Saying we're dead kind of flippantly, but... God, it's not far from wrong. I'll Inflame, then double tap the Twin Strike, and then another Twin Strike. Well, I have to defend this turn, right? So what, at the end of this turn, I'm getting... This is 5 HP for me, this is 6. So as long as I'm alive, this is a better play, right? Because then it's repeatable after that. 5 HP because it's also the bird face turn. So I end up with 14, 17 from the incoming 24. All right. Yikes. There's another Metallicize. So at the end of this turn, we get 14 block again. Unfortunately, that's not enough to keep us alive right now. Playing both of these defends is the same as playing none of them because of the Orichalcum. Yeah, I'm dead. That gremlin leader fight was abhorrently bad. Really, really frustratingly poor. Not being able to take an energy relic after the first boss there as well was just really, really, really tragic. So a build like that specifically fills itself with 2-cost cards and wants draw in the Shrug-it-off and the Pommel Strike desperately needs extra energy. Whoa! Peace Pipe. You can now remove cards from your deck at rest sites. Should I try for an infinite? Yeah, I think so. I think so. So the way that you format an infinite is you just need to have... One sec as I figure out exactly what I want to do this time. Is you need to make sure that overall playing through your entire deck is 0 cost in overall value. That is to say that your energy cost and your card cost are covered. So you can have like a deck that cycles really quickly and generates a bunch of energy using Sundial and doesn't use a bunch of energy in order to generate those cycles. That's a really good way to do it. For this character, there's a specific build that will allow you to do it really quickly. I wonder if I just take a Rampage here. If I want to go for the infinite, I don't take Rampage, but building an infinite is tricky. Not that it's extremely difficult, but a lot of the time, if you finish the first floor and you haven't found one element for it, you just die. You lose. That's it. That's the end of your infinite. I'm going to take the Rampage as like an interim performer. None of these cards are what we're looking for. So we're looking for, specifically for this kind of an infinite, I'm looking for Dropkick, and I'm looking for Flash of Steel. So we'll just be removing the Shame there. But also, in the meantime, I may as well just create a relatively thin deck that uses Rampage as a damage engine. Cool. None of those. We are going to be extremely picky with our cards. Happily double defend this turn. We're healing back up to full after it. Right. Nope. Typically, I would have taken a Shrug It Off there, but nope. I'm going for this build. Take the max HP. I don't want another card in my deck that I need to remove. So being able to remove cards at rest sites is going to be insane for us. Oh, really? Really? This is an awful fight. This actually, I think, is the absolute earliest that that fight can even appear, by the way. I'm gonna use Liquid Bronze. This Gremlin Wizard's charged up. Now they're going to be dealing 30 damage, and I just do not have the damage to take them out right now, so I just have to hit you and then double defend. Obviously, should have used the Rampage there for the hit. This is doing more damage to me than an Elite fight would. None of those as well. That's not how I should have played this fight. I should have used the first Rampage and then cycled through afterwards. That's my bad. Could have got the Rampage to scale a lot faster there. So basically, we just want to defend and use Bash and Rampage, so... the hands have been actually kind of nice so far. And then Rampage next turn. So Elites are deadlier, you can see is taking a huge effect here. Omamori, negate the next 2 curses you obtain, as well as... no. None of it. Smiling Mask. The Merchant's card removal service now always costs 50 gold. That is really good for the build that we're trying to go for. Madness is useful for this build as well. Battle Trance isn't, so I purposefully don't pair there. So, if I take this path, I can... Hexaghost. Indeed. I don't know if I even want to rest ball the Hexaghost. Enemy's getting bigger at a real mad rate. Mm-hmm. Good. Well, now I know I definitely want to rest before it, and I definitely can't take this line. God. At least I've got an explosive potion for this one, but still. Oh. I don't think like a bunch of AoE cards have even been offered that I'm like turning down or anything. I'm gonna take any of those. Just gonna immediately pop that blood potion there. Unfortunately, I have to play the Rampage, otherwise I do not win the fight. Yikes! Things are real rough in Ascension 3, apparently. Jeez. Headbutt is if I was running a Rampage deck, I would use Headbutt, but I'm trying to format it into an Infinite. It's worth noting that one of the reasons I want to format it into an Infinite is because formatting an Infinite that has a Peace Pipe means that you can get the achievement Minimalist, which is win the game with 5 or fewer cards in your deck. And that is great. That's obviously one of the things that we're going for, because this is a new save file, so we do need to get all of those achievements again. Alright. Unfortunately, thin decks like this are really, really vulnerable to deck trashing effects. So if the enemy puts a bunch of burns in your deck, like they're doing now, that's really, really unfortunate for us. Alright, I think I need to use my Fear Potion now. Yeah, I'm just dead next turn anyway. This is what I get for trying to build an Infinite. None of the Infinite cards on the first floor, just the Peace Pipe. Good lord. This is actually going to be our first straight up loss in this series. That is to say, an episode that ends without a victory. Whew, it had to happen sooner or later. For the moment, my name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Slay the Spire. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves. And hopefully we'll see you next time when we'll play a little safer.